trick. Oh, that's how that came about. So I would bring that stuffed animal with me to the afterlife, just as a reminder of my young, stubborn self at heart. Thank you.
So basically, that is all the speeches that we have for today. And so you guys can, on the side, write out which favorite topics that you like. So we have Akbar talking about his roller coaster event and how he had a roller coaster adventure and how he wishes to do that before he died. We had Nico talking about a dog potion because she loves dogs so much. We had Drew talking about a teleporting potion because he wants to be able to teleport anywhere, whatever he wants. We had Scott talk about peanut butter cups and how he likes them and how it brings back fond memories. We had Nate talking about when he was, how he's a mama's boy and how that's like deep inside of him. We had Zach talk about his grandparents and Mustangs. We had Serena talk about the stapler incident. We had Anur talk about his spider thing. And we had Trisha talk about her stuffed animal. But yeah, thanks guys.
Before you vote, was everybody on time?
Nico was.
Nico was not on time. Or you not vote for Nico?
And if you're voting for yourself, please vote for a second place as well.
Vote for a second place regardless.
Yes, you know what?
That's better than me. So now we're on to the evaluation portion of the meeting. Sadly, Bryan had to step out, but I'd like to call the general evaluator, Zach, on the stage.
So evaluation is my favorite portion of the meeting. I've said this multiple times. A lot of people disagree with me. They say tabletop is their favorite because there's nice fun pictures. I'm just kidding. So the reason why I like evaluations is that's because this portion of the meeting is where we become great speakers, where we see where we're not doing too hot to becoming great performers on stage, whether it's controlling your volume, controlling your intensity in speaking, moving around the stage with purpose, not looking like you're nervous the entire time, but instead looking like you're a confident speaker that knows what he or she is doing. So, to encourage that growth in our club, I'll call on Anur to evaluate Bryan's speech.
So Bryan, you're not here, but you'll be watching this. First off, great job. This is your first speech, and I loved it. I remember seeing the slide where you had all your qualifications and everything. I was blown away. That looked like a lifetime's worth of achievements, and you did it in 4 years. So congratulations to you for that. And as I was listening, I was very agog to hear about your journey, how you accomplished all these things. And I didn't even realize it, but you had completely captured my attention. You have this charisma. You're a natural storyteller. You came up here, you had your presentation, and you would move around very confidently, and you had your hand gestures. Everything you did seemed very fluid and very natural. So I can already tell you're an amazing storyteller. And one thing I saw that I feel like could help you go from an amazing storyteller to an awesomely amazing storyteller would be your tone. Your tone, it was loud enough, we could hear you, but for the most part, it was flat. And I suffer from this too. I too have the same tone, not flat I should say, but the same tone. So when you are talking about something, if you would like to build something up, you can start out very soft. And as you start to get near and build it bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually your voice can fill up the entire room. And this is one of those tools that can really help take you to the next level. And I would really love to see it, to see your progression in the future with this. And another thing I saw that you did very well with your speech was your organization. You started off, you introduced yourself, and you gave us a quick overview of what it's going to be, a top-level view, so to say. You said, this is what I'm going to talk about, this is what my speech is about, and then you jump right into it. And then as you were taking us through the speech with your natural storytelling, you came to the end, and you didn't just jump off. You wrapped everything up, tied it in a nice little bundle, and did a very good conclusion. So I can tell you were very prepared for this, and it really showed through your speech, the organization, and the content. And so that was a very good first speech, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more from you in future speeches. Thank you.
I think I know who the best evaluator is.
I think it's rigged, but you know. Eliminated competition piece, you get first place. I see it here. So, with that said, we want to move on to the meeting-wide evaluations. And the first one to follow up is FR.
All right. Overall, everybody did pretty good. We had less than 20 ums, ahs, so's, buts, likes used in total. No, not in total. Per person. We had less than 20 per person. Bryan had 16. Nate, you did really good. You only had 10. Sourin, you did really good also. You had 3. FR, you did really awesome. You got 4. Nico is not here. She got 3. Drew, you did really awesome also. You got 4. Scott, you did awesome also. You got 4. Zach, you got 5, which is not bad. Serena, you did good also. It's not bad. It's 8. And then Onur, you actually got the lowest in all of them. So you beat everybody's record. You got 3. And then Trisha, you got 4 also. Everybody else did awesome that is not here because they had no ums, ahs, so's, buts, etc. And I will leave it to the next person for the reports.
I'm taking that not good part to heart. But,
Okay, because you did really good. I take it back.
Alright, so,
So thank you to everyone who used the word of the day, Honor and FR. You were the 2 who used the word of the day, so congrats for that. Some things, just grammar-wise, and kind of also overlaps with our concept, is leading your sentences with extended ands. And like, and so I went here, and so I did this, and so blah, 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 blah. And it's great for transitions, which now I just realized I used, but it also tends, as you start getting to that rhythm, it starts becoming, what you're trying to say becomes like one big run-on sentence, and it becomes difficult even right now, just trying to go through this. I catch myself saying it, but it ends up going into one big run-on sentence. So Bryan, there was one sentence, and okay, I'll just go. Bryan, there's one sentence. My dad got ill. Maybe using a more specific word for got, maybe became ill or fell ill. And also this is just a word just in general thing. If you could think of a more specific word that ties back, whether that's an idea or this event or this situation. Just getting into more specific language. And then Sourin, with your PowerPoint, there were sometimes you used like a comma after like the first statement, maybe a dash would have been better, and maybe some of them also missed, what's it called, question mark. But other than that, great job.
great evaluation. One tip for that is something I use a lot, and actually it was a stereotype of my speaking style. I pause a lot for emphasis. In fact, there was a speech only about roasting me, where the main roast was, I collect my thoughts, I say a sentence, and then I pause. This encourages me not to say and or so or but or any linking verbs, so that I can give a complete thought, have emphasis on that thought, and not create a run-on sentence. So when I say these words, you're paying attention to every single phrase. You're not paying attention to the fact that every single phrase that I say is a run-on sentence, because it's not. So that is like the trick, really. Next, the evaluation of the meeting as a whole. Toastmaster, you did an amazing job throwing it all together and really working with the one speaker thing. I know it's very weird to have only one speaker for a Toastmasters meeting, but you handled it very well. Even with, I know, was kind of last minute with Bryan's introduction and title. So I'm glad that you did that, and this is the first time you took in Toastmaster?
Yep.
All right, round of applause. You dressed pretty well for the Toastmaster as well, which it definitely helps.
Freaking awesome.
Sourin, amazing job as table topics. First time as table topics as well, right? All right. We like to clap a lot. Amazing job. One thing that I would like is, before the meeting, just having this system down so that, like, usually if someone has a laptop as a presentation, all you need to do is press that desktop computer. And having that all set up before the meeting even starts, so you can just say, welcome to the table topic section, tap, and then continue on with your speech instead of kind of like figuring it out on stage. It's less stressful for you, less awkward for us. Basically, that's it. You did handle it very well. GE, you did an amazing job. But I will continue on to evaluations. Anor, I really like the fact that we're transitioning out of carrying notes up here. I absolutely hate when evaluators carry notes up here. The reason why this trend picked up is because I guess one person took up notes, everyone decided, oh, you can take up notes, and everyone just read off the evaluations from a sheet of paper while presenting their speech. In actuality, the evaluations of a speech is a speech in itself. And if you've given an evaluation, that means you've given 3 speeches before that evaluation. That's usually the rule for Toastmasters. We, of course, give exceptions to those rules, and but it's a general understanding that you don't bring a piece of paper unless it's your first 3 speeches. And the fact that you came up here, gave an amazing speech as an evaluation is really commendable. Another thing about a tip about not bringing up a sheet of paper. I realized that, like, when I carry a piece of paper up on stage, my hands shake constantly. Even on stage, they shake. I've given 40 to 60 plus speeches. I've been giving speeches for a long time, and my hands still shake. When you're holding a piece of paper, it's so much more evident that your hands are shaking, because those small shakes in your hand reverberate through the paper, and it just looks like you're the most nervous person on stage. So having that sheet of paper on the side, having 1 to 2 points that you want to evaluate on stage, and presenting those points to an audience, instead of just looking at the person you're evaluating, makes you look as an amazing evaluator instead of just a guy that wrote down notes and is reading off of a script at a person. Instead, you're turning from an evaluator to an inspirer, from an inspirer to a motivational speaker, so that people around you don't make the same mistakes, grow from the same points that you're telling the person you're evaluating. So I really commend you on the fact that you turned your evaluation into a speech. So with that said, I really like the fact that we started basically on time and we're ending way before time. So I'll just transition into, I'll bring Toastmaster up. Let's round it up.
Thank you everybody for coming out to the meeting. Like Zach said, it was a very quick one. And with that all said, Zach, come right back up.
Hello, Mr. President now. So, usually the Toastmaster, I welcome the Toastmaster as president, just formality stuff, and then the Toastmaster welcomes me after the meeting to basically conclude. What?
Awards.
Yeah, yeah. There's really one official award. But before awards, how about, what's your name, Drew? Right? Drew. Could you stand up and say like who you are, how you found out about the club, and what do you think of the meeting?
My name is Drew. I found out about the club because my dad said that UGA would probably have a Toastmasters club. He is in Toastmasters, and he was correct. And I really enjoyed the meeting. I'm definitely going to be returning. I'll also be returning, I'm required to return. But I would be returning if the club was not.
And if you have any questions about further involvement, you can always come to me or the VP of membership, Serena, or basically any of the officers who are these three over here.
Let's put our hands up.
So if you approach any of us, we can talk about membership, or if you want to take a role on next meeting. Actually, we'll assign roles after this. So with that said, Trish, you have the counter? All right, welcome Trish to the stage.